This is CBN NewsWatch.
It is Wednesday, March 31st, 2021. I'm Ephraim Graham. Thank you so much for joining us. We begin this half hour with the president who'll be in Pittsburgh to lay out his vision to bolster the economy. The American Jobs Infrastructure Plan will look to improve the country's roads, bridges, and water systems, modernize schools, and upgrade veterans' hospitals. But it comes with a hefty price tag. The plan will cost between $2 to $3 trillion over the next 10 years. But the White House says the president has plans to pay for every dollar.
He thinks it's responsible. It's the responsible thing to do, to propose a way to pay for that over time.
Biden says he will raise taxes on large corporations and the most wealthy, but there is bipartisan concern about the plan, some calling the president's plan financially irresponsible, one that would push the country further in debt on the heels of the just surpassed American Rescue Plan. Later on this month, the White House will present another plan on what the administration is calling human infrastructure. It includes programs like health care and child care. Tuesday was day two of the Derek Chauvin trial. Several witnesses took the stand describing what they saw and felt as they watched the Minneapolis police officer kneeling on George Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes. Charlene Aaron is on the story.
Bystanders at the scene of George Floyd's death offered powerful testimony of what they say happened, including the young woman who filmed the last moments of Floyd's life.
He cried for his mom. He was in pain.
18-year-old Darnella Frazier witnessed the incident along with her 9-year-old cousin. She filmed the now infamous video that sparked protests around the world, calling Floyd's death a scene that still haunts her.
I stayed up apologizing and apologizing to George Floyd for not doing more and not physically interacting and not saving his life. But it's like, it's not what I should have done.
He just pretty much just killed this guy that wasn't resisting arrest.
Donald Williams, whose 911 call was played in court, describing what he saw.
I believe I witnessed a murder.
The defense cross-examining him, describing his yelling heard on that video, arguing bystanders distracted officers in those tense moments.
It's fair to say that you grew angrier and angrier.
No, I grew professional, and I stayed in my body. You can't pay me out to be angry.
One of the more striking moments came when an off-duty firefighter took the stand and spoke about how the officers prevented her from assisting Floyd.
Police officers not take a pulse and not do anything to save a man. And I am a first responder myself.
Defense attorney Eric Nelson pressed Genevieve Hansen if she would have been distracted from fighting a fire herself.
I would be confident in doing my job, and there's nothing anybody could say that would distract me. There was a man being killed. I would have been able to provide medical attention to the best of my abilities, and this human was denied that right.
Meanwhile, Chauvin's former law enforcement colleagues, including the police chief, who's expected to condemn Chauvin's use of force, are also expected to testify at the trial. Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
As lawmakers figure out how to secure our border and reform our immigration system, many immigrants who are currently protected under deferred action for childhood arrivals are wondering what the future holds for them. While there is bipartisan support for a permanent solution for DACA recipients, nothing has ever passed both chambers of Congress. CBN's Capitol Hill correspondent Abigail Robertson brings us more on what one dreamer hopes to see happen under the Biden administration.
Since 2012, the DACA executive order has allowed immigrants who were brought to the U.S. illegally as children an opportunity to apply for a driver's license, work permit, and social security number. Yet DACA permits must be renewed every 2 years, and the policy is constantly threatened by legal challenges.
I can't imagine me being here without having God by my side.
DACA gave Hilario Llanes, who came to the U.S. at the age of 1, an opportunity to go to college and work in the U.S.
I was able to pay my taxes. I was able to support myself, stand on my own 2 feet, and pay my way through college.
The House recently passed the DREAM Act to provide a pathway to citizenship for DACA recipients. But with the current situation at the border, even Republican senators like Lindsey Graham, who've sponsored the bill in the Senate, aren't likely to support it.
Biden has lost control of the U.S.-Mexican border. Until he regains control by implementing policies that work, it's going to be very hard to do the Dreamers or anybody else.
Yanez sympathizes with the families fleeing Central America.
My heart goes for the kids. My heart goes for the families because in reality, my mom did the same thing. My mom did everything she could. She risked her life. She risked my life to come to the United States. So I am those kids.
But he tells CBN News he agrees border security needs to be addressed.
As a Border Patrol agent, I didn't sign up for this.
And that agents need help dealing with the cartels who control the border, sharing stories like this one.
We were going to send her to the hospital. And as I got closer to her, I noticed that she couldn't speak. And I asked the medical staff what happened. And the reason she was going to the hospital because she had gotten gang raped. And the reason that she couldn't speak was because she had lost her voice in the process while she was getting raped.
Congresswoman Beth Van Dyne tells CBN News families should apply for asylum before coming to the U.S.
Allowing people to be able to apply from the first safe country that they come to, keeping these families united in Mexico or what other country that they're at, so you're not separating them, so we're not keeping them shoved like sardines on the floor.
Yanez tells me that without control of the border and bipartisan negotiations, he's not hopeful that any permanent solution for the Dreamers will be able to pass before the 2022 midterm elections. Reporting from Virginia, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
Students who've attended 25 Christian colleges have filed a lawsuit against the Department of Education. The students claim the schools like Liberty University and Bob Jones University are unconstitutional because they discriminate against the LGBT community. But the Washington Post reports the suit was intentionally filed as the Senate prepares to take up the Equality Act, a bill that would update federal civil rights laws to add LGBTQ protections. CBN's Heather Sells spoke with the president of the Alliance Defending Freedom about this controversial bill and how it will be passed and what that means to religious institutions. Take a look.
You have worked in Washington for years. Your organization, Alliance Defending Freedom, defends religious liberty in countless spheres of our society. What is your take on the Equality Act as we know it at this time and what it means to religious liberty?
Well, the Equality Act is not equal rights for anybody in any reasonable, ordinary understanding of that term. It's a direct assault on religious liberty. It's a direct assault on women in many respects, and it's a direct assault on the unborn. There are 7 particular areas that are of concern in the Equality Act, religious freedom being probably at the top of the list. The Religious Freedom Restoration Act that I helped write in 1994 is being repealed in this context. It says that in the areas of LGBT or abortion or related sexual issues, you get no more protection from the Federal Religious Freedom Restoration Act, which is an incredibly dangerous proposition that they're a direct repeal of religious freedom in that context.
Yeah, let's pause for just a moment. Can you just unpack that? What does that mean that Religious Freedom Restoration Act no longer means anything?
Well, the way RFRA was written, it sits on top of all federal law and provides basically a quasi-constitutional protection for religious freedom as a matter of civil rights over and above anything else in the federal statutes. Unless Congress specifically says, in this area, the religious freedom protections don't apply. And so that's what's going on here in the Equality Act. So in areas of LGBT, in areas of Title IX, in areas of sanctity of life and free speech, and the other areas touched on by the Equality Act, if it interferes with religious freedom in any way, religious freedom normally would have a statutory protection, but that statutory protection is gone because of this provision. It's a direct assault. Now, the Supreme Court could reinstate our constitutional rights here, but that's why RFRA was written, because a bad Supreme Court decision made that necessary. We're all familiar with the Hobby Lobby case. Hobby Lobby won religious freedom to not fund abortions in their insurance, not by the First Amendment as it should have been, but by RFRA, by the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. And so Congress has tried to, in the past, make things right where the Supreme Court messed it up. But now Congress is trying to mess it up as well. And so religious freedom would be left in the dirt.
All right. And you, of course, have been in the education world for years. What would the Equality Act mean to Christian colleges, mean to Christian schools, K through 12? It would repeal the protection that the Christian colleges have in Title IX, for example. Transgender men wanting to play in women's sports would be one example of that. It would apply to all colleges that are subject to Title IX. Currently, that's designed to protect women, and so women would lose opportunities to transgender men in that context. Dormitories in Christian colleges, many other aspects, other privacy facilities for both churches and Christian colleges would be attacked by this. So the attack on religious institutions is direct and clear, and the statute would say all Christian colleges, just like all other colleges, would have to toe the line to the LGBT new orthodoxy. Mike Ferris with Alliance Defending Freedom, thanks for your time. Thank you so much.
Police have made an arrest in that vicious attack near New York City's Times Square that is sparking outrage online. Police say that the man stomped, kicked, and yelled anti-Asian hate slurs at a 65-year-old Filipino woman in Manhattan. The attack happened outside an apartment building in an area that is heavily surveillance by police. Surveillance footage also shows that two security guards who appear to be watching but failing to help that woman. The Attorney General, Merrick Garland, is asking for a review on ways the Justice Department can deploy resources to combat hate crimes that are rising in the area. That man there is Brandon Elliott. The woman was beaten and treated for serious injuries. Once again, that suspect, Brandon Elliott, has been arrested. Coming up, defund the police. These moms say no way. So what unites this group and why are they pushing back? I want to have that story for you when we return. Stay with us.
Daddy?
Yeah, buddy?
How many nickels are in a dollar?
There are 20 nickels in a dollar.
How do birds fly? Does milk really make my bones stronger?
Yeah.
Daddy, when we die, will we go to heaven?
Do you have the answer to life's biggest question? Call the 700 Club. We'll help you find answers to the important questions life brings your way.
Watch breaking news, in-depth exclusive stories and programs from health to entertainment you won't find anywhere else. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. Enjoy credible news reporting from around the world. Discover inspiring programs and stories of hope, all in one place from a Christian perspective. The CBN News Channel, a perspective you can trust. To watch the CBN News Channel, download the app or visit cbnnewschannel.com.
Hello, I'm Dr. David Perlmutter, board-certified neurologist and #1 New York Times bestselling author. Wouldn't it be great to boost your energy, eliminate brain fog, and even reverse brain disease? Well, you can, and I'm going to show you how, along with some of the world's most well-respected brain experts, in this DVD, Protect Your Brain.
Get Protect Your Brain, a free DVD only from the Christian Broadcasting Network, featuring experts on the cutting edge of neuroscience and brain health.
No matter how many times you've failed in the past, you really can do this.
In Protect Your Brain, you'll discover simple strategies to keep your brain young and healthy. Improve your memory. Discover the gut-brain connection. In Protect Your Brain, get your free copy at cbn.com or call 1-800-700-7000.
If you want to improve the quality of your life, get the DVD Protect Your Brain and get it today.
The trial of the former Minneapolis police officer charged in the death of George Floyd continues today. Floyd's death last summer led to nationwide protests calling for police reform, accountability, and even demands to defund the police. But one group of black moms say not so fast. The group, Voices of Black Mothers, have united to support police while also calling for greater accountability. Eric Phillips is on this story.
Organizers of this mission want to encourage police to be in communities, reflecting the oath they took to be officers of peace. And they believe mothers who have swallowed the most bitter pill can help with that mission.
But it's hard. It hurts. I mean, this is a pain I carry every day. This is my son right here, and I carry him in my heart, and it hurts.
Carolyn Johnson Turner is one of more than 2,000 mothers making up the newly formed Voices of Black Mothers United, an anti-violence initiative of the Woodson Center.
It is titled Black Mothers for a reason. Black mothers are the ones who are ignored the most.
Sylvia Bennett Stone is the group's director. Her daughter, Crystal Joy, and her friend, Taryn, died as random innocent victims from a single bullet after gunfire erupted outside of a Birmingham convenience store in 2004.
I had to lean heavily on my faith in order to get through some horrible nights when you can't sleep, you can't eat, you're losing weight.
That's where Voices of Black Mothers United will help as a support group.
Healing helps heal.
Beyond that, it aims to bring together law enforcement and faith-based community partners to find solutions to senseless violence, while also pushing back against efforts to take money away from police.
No one wants to talk about the black-on-black crime. Everyone wants to jump up and down about defunding the police. We are not supporting defunding police at all. No, we're not. We are saying we need police in our communities. However, we are saying that we want accountability of all police officers.
We don't want no more police. Is that clear?
She says the Black Lives Matter and defund the police movements are so strong, many African Americans are reluctant to speak out against them, even if they disagree.
People feel as though they won't be black enough, or they will not be accepted in their community if they go against this. So we're just saying, hey, someone needs to step up and say, tell the truth. We need police in our community.
And she says police need Black mothers partnering with them when and where deadly crimes happen.
That makes a huge difference on that scene. That makes a difference in how the community is going to respond to the police.
Just being there to help families who have just experienced the kind of loss these mothers know all too well. Retired Police Chief Rodney Monroe agrees.
Support those efforts, not defund the police. I'm a firm believer that when you can partner with families doing the active investigation of these cases, there's a much greater chance of these cases being resolved much faster. There's greater witness cooperation. There's better coordination with the district attorney's office as it relates to putting these cases together.
Organizers say no one can relate more to grieving families than these mothers, and nothing can heal better than the love of God.
The Voices of Black Mothers United is officially unleashed.
Sylvia Bennett Stone says although the group is called Voices of Black Mothers, those of any walk can feel free to join them, because she says the pain of losing a child is the same for any mother. In Washington, Eric Phillips, CBN News.
Still ahead is the story of a girl who believes and sees miracles. We're paying a visit to Studio 5 for a preview of this story with one of the stars of the film. When we come back, stay with us.
Life is better with a good night's sleep. Get your free DVD or booklet of Protect Your Sleep today.
Welcome to Studio 5 Uncut. This is our opportunity to share extended conversations with some of the great guests we've had on Studio 5.
You can't go anywhere on the planet and not see the impact of gospel music on popular culture.
Now you're a comedian and a Christian. You know, why is that such a baffle?
Being an artist who is Christian and an artist who's in hip-hop culture, I'm trying to find my own sound.
Studio 5 Uncut. Next.
Remember for a moment what it was like to be a child. You believed every story you were told. You saw a world full of endless possibilities. What stories will the world's orphaned and at-risk children believe? We believe the Bible tells the only story truly worth believing. We believe that every child should have the opportunity to dream, the chance to take challenges and turn them into possibilities, the chance to stand on the promises of God, to recognize their place in the greatest story ever told. They have their whole lives ahead of them. Theirs is a world of endless possibilities. They are looking for a story to believe. We will tell them that story. Will you join us?
And welcome back to CBN NewsWatch. I want to turn our attention to a new film being released this Easter weekend as believers celebrate the resurrection of Jesus. This film celebrates miracles. One of the stars, Kevin Sorbo, paid a visit to our Studio 5 to introduce us to the girl who believes in miracles.
Grandpa, when I found the bird, I prayed, God, you made this poor little guy, so maybe you could help him out.
His heart isn't beating, Sarah, and it's dead.
Then I saw God standing on the other side of the lake.
I always thought that you were kind of special.
You see him?
Who?
God.
The girl who believes in miracles. How did you come to this project?
You know, my agent sent me the script, and I met with the director, in person. He came over to my house. And I love the story. I love movies that have a positive message.
You saw God and then brought a dead bird back to life.
No, I didn't. God did.
It just sounds like she has a healthy imagination to me.
She would never outright lie. My cat died last week. I was wondering if you could stop by and bring him back to life.
Tell me about your character in this story.
Well, I play Dr. Ben Riley. I think people look at him as an atheist type of guy. He's not over religious, he's not anti-religious. So I put him the agnostic character, but he's a doctor and he believes this girl needs his help, which she does. She's a very ill little child, little girl. And all these things are happening around her that people are questioning, well, who is this? What are they? It's not like she's walking on water, but things are happening that are just, they seem out of the norm for people.
Do you think you can help me walk again?
I don't know.
Could you say a prayer for me?
So, tell me what this medical emergency is all about.
I moved my toes this morning.
I can't explain what happened in there. Severed nerves and spinal cord can't be generated.
Mom? Oh, my baby. I thought he was never supposed to walk again.
He wasn't.
This is a movie that's a little more like, wow, how did that happen or how did this happen? And I'm always saying, well, it's science, don't worry about that. And it's really, as his character goes along from scene to scene, he really wakes up and realizes that there is something going on here that's almost supernatural in a way. And this little girl has a faith that's a lot stronger than his own.
It's about to turn her world upside down.
The film is called The Girl Who Believes in Miracles. Where does Kevin Sorbo stand on believing in miracles?
Where do I stand?
Yeah.
I do believe in miracles. They happen all the time. I suffered 4 strokes at the end of season 5 on Hercules. It took me 3 years to recover from it. Could have killed me. Could have left me paralyzed for the rest of my life. It changed me. I mean, I wrote a book called True Strength, my journey from Hercules to mere mortal and how nearly dying saved my life.
Yeah, hold on to your hat. There's going to be a lot more of it.
Another beautiful element of this whole entire filmmaking process is you have a 98-year-old first-time filmmaker behind this project.
Lawrence Daff, he produces it, one of the producers on it, and it's just a great story.
Thank you. I know that I was seeing God. Everything Sarah told us was true. I'm just a lucky girl who God decided to visit.
We need these things now more than ever in our world because we got such a crazy, angry, divisive world right now. And I think movies like this are coming out at the right time.
The truth is, all you have to do is believe in God and pray to Him. He's listening.
This is a movie that people ask me to keep making all the time, to be part of. And it's going to be right up that alley in a world that is so crazy. This is a movie that will help unite people.
You're beginning to catch on.
The Girl Who Believes in Miracles is in theaters this weekend. And for more news in the world of uplifting entertainment, be sure to catch an all-new edition of Studio 5 this evening. You can catch it on the CBN News Channel. It begins at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time this evening. Coming up, Revival and Healing comes to North Carolina. Hear what happened at this plaza that shocked the masses when we come back.
I am Regent's first ROTC graduate student.
I'm Ephraim Graham, and this is Studio 5. Cruise with me as I discover the good things happening in the world of music, sports, television, and movies.
The fact that Ryan Coogler was going to be directing the film, I knew that something special was going to happen.
We'll chat with artists at the forefront of entertainment and explore the connection between popular culture and faith.
I asked my pastor, I said, well, does that mean I'm supposed to be a preacher? He says, well, no, you already have a pulpit.
Wednesday night at 8:30 on the CBN News Channel.
How'd you like to get a redo on your health, on your body, on your arteries, so you could have the energy you had 20 years ago? The great news is you can. I'm Dr. Mike Roizen, chair of the Wellness Institute at the Cleveland Clinic. I've written 4 New York Times bestsellers. But even better than having to read all that, you can listen to this DVD and watch it. Protect your heart? Yes, you can. Here's how.
Go to CBN.com or call 1-800-700-7000 for your free copy of Protect Your Heart. Let the medical experts show you their new discoveries on how to avoid heart disease and even reverse it. Easy steps to uncover the hidden dangers in your medicine cabinet, reduce stress, and get a complete do-over for your health. Call 1-800-700-7000. That's 1-800-700-7000. Or go to CBN.com to claim your free copy of Protect Your Heart.
Hundreds packed the streets of Greensboro, North Carolina over the weekend to hear a message of hope. It was all part of Sean Foyt's Let Us Worship Revival event. He tweeted during the event people were set free from heroin addiction, anxiety, and depression. The worship leaders traveled across the country over the last year hosting these revival events. During an event in Lubbock, Texas last week, he pointed to Scripture as he said Christians must rise up and show people who are heavy-hearted the gospel of Christ has the answer for them. Time for your Wednesday word, and today I leave you with this. God is often found in the contradictions of life. What doesn't make sense to us doesn't take him by surprise. Remember this, God is our refuge and our fortress. He is not shaken. With that word, make this a wonderful Wednesday, and be sure to have a wonderful rest of the week. Do it on purpose and with purpose. That's going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you right back here, same time tomorrow. Goodbye and God bless.